Welcome back, clarinets, to our Teaching Through Repertoire series on Galactic Adventure. We're going to be doing clarinet part 1. This will be measures 1 through 12. So if you're playing clarinet 1, this is measures 1 through 12, the mysterious section at the beginning. We're going to start with clapping and counting the rhythm, then we'll go through our fingerings and note names, and then we'll play it together. Let's start off clapping and counting, nice and slow. Remember, when we're clapping, ignore slurs, because you can't clap slurs. 1, 2, 3, and ta, 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 dee, ta, 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 dee, ta, 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 dee, ta, 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 dee, ta, 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 rest, ta, dee, ta, rest. Ta-dee, ta, ta-dee, ta-dee, ta, ta, off. Remember that fermata is going to be 8 beats long. If you're confused by that, don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch part 1 where we talk through the whole piece and all these new ideas. Once you've got that down and you're comfortable clapping it and counting it, we'll move on and say our note names and do the fingerings. If you're not comfortable with that yet, go back, do it a couple more times, slow it down as much as you need until you can get it right. Remember, you're not practicing until you get it right. You're practicing until you can't get it wrong. All right, now our note names and fingerings. Remember, we have B flat in here. That's our new one. It's your A with the pinch on your thumb there, just those 2 keys, leaving all your other fingers as close as possible, and you're just rolling that first finger up. So we start on D. Here we go. 1, 2, say the names. D, A, G, A, F, B flat, A, G, 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 A, G, A, B flat, B flat, G, A, rest, A, G, A, rest, A, G, A, B flat, A, G, F, G, A. I always end up singing notes when I say the note names. They probably weren't the right notes, so ignore that. I also got sidetracked because I was thinking about my fingers flying away. I do this every time, and I've told you this when our book exercises and stuff, but I make my fingers fly away so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Because if I play G like this, you might not be able to tell if I'm playing G or if I'm playing C because it's such a minute difference, but your fingers should be that close. When I play, I usually show you, and I turn the clarinet even to show you B flat so you can see what's going on. You want to keep your fingers as close as possible. So again, do that as many times as you need. Measure 7, I think is when I showed you B flat and I thought about my fingers and I flew away. It should be B flat, A, B flat, G, A. So whatever I said in there probably wasn't that, but make sure you've got those notes there. It's hard to say B flat, A sometimes and add those flats or the sharps in there. Make yourself do it right as best you can. If it's too fast, obviously you can't do that, but this one's slow enough that you should be able to say the B flat and practice it slow until you get really comfortable with that and it'll make it easier. But don't say B because that'll train your brain that B flat is B and then that'll just break some other things later. When you're comfortable with that, we'll move on and we'll try playing it. If you're not yet, go back and do the note names and the fingerings again. And when you're saying these things even, you can try to do the dynamics. Try to do that even, clapping it's harder, but you can still do it a little bit. But when you're saying them, even if you're not singing the pitches, you can say A and get louder for that crescendo. And then measure 9 can be louder than measure 1 was. So always try to do dynamics as much as possible. Here we go, playing from the beginning now. 1 through measure 12. Remember, measure 12 is going to be 8 beats long, so you're going to hold that out nice and long. Shooting for 4-bar phrases here. 1, 2, beginning, 2, 3. How'd you do? Did you make the 4-bar phrases? Did you make it 8 beats all the way at the end? That's kind of tough. You've got to make it from that rest in measure 10, basically 6 bars, so it's longer than we've been talking about. But if any instrument can do it, it's clarinet, because if you got everything working right, it doesn't take a lot of air to play the clarinet. So try to make that. If you can't figure out where you can breathe, it won't bother anybody else, and make it as unnoticeable as possible. Try never to breathe before that last note, though, unless there's a breath mark. Try not to breathe before the last note so it doesn't ruin this line that we've got going. You want to go into that last note big and strong. That takes us through the intro. Once you're all ready for this, you can move on to part 3, which is going to start at measure 13. Remember, practice as many times as you need till you're really comfortable with it. Don't work to get it right, work till you can't get it wrong. Well, hope to see you in part 3 at measure 13.